The Walt Disney Company held its annual shareholders meeting today in Denver amidst a week of controversy over an exclusively gay moment in the upcoming Beauty and the Beast movie due in theaters on Friday. Disney also featured its first on-screen gay kiss last week in the children's cartoon TV show Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Did the controversy surface in the meeting? Joining us now to talk about the meeting is Justin Danhoff of the National Center for Public Policy Research. Did Disney address the gay scene and gay character in Beauty and the Beast and the gay kiss in the cartoon TV show?
They did not. I will say there was lots of controversies brought up at today's meeting, but that wasn't one of them.
Mr. Iger talked about values of equality and inclusion that Disney espouses. Is that what you heard too? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, but it's interesting because when you hear the words equality and inclusion coming from a well-known leftist, what that has come to mean is we want to hear from a broad array of opinions, individuals, gender, skin color, ethnicity, except for those conservatives out there. Their opinions aren't valid. We don't want them, and they're unneeded. And that's it's a really sad narrative on the way that the state of the media in places such as ABC and ESPN.
The CEO of Disney is under fire for being on President Trump's Business Advisory Council. How was that topic addressed?
We presented the truth. We presented the fact that that's what the proposal is about. It's not about good governance, as Zevin and the liberals like to claim. And so this issue dovetailed really well with the main topic of today's meeting, which turned out to be Mr. Iger's role on one of President Trump's advisory boards. That liberal activist after liberal activist got up and demanded that, using Zevin's proposal as a platform, they demanded that Mr. Iger leave the advisory board. So they actually spoke truth to the lie about Zevin's proposal, and what the left is really all about when it comes to corporate America is dictating who can talk to whom, when, where, why, and how. And we think business should be able to dictate that for themselves, not a liberal ideological litmus test put down by activist investors such as Zevin Asset Management.
Why is the left so upset that Mr. Iger is on this Business Advisory Council?
You'd have to ask, some of the derangement that's going on in their minds, but they falsely claim that Mr. Iger sitting on the advisory council automatically means Disney endorses every single thing that President Trump has ever done or will do, which is, of course, again, they're just creating enemies lists. And Disney should know something about creating enemies lists, right? And that's what the left really wants to do, is in this era where there is new media, there is blogs, there's communications via Facebook and Twitter. You and I are having this. I'm on Skype right now talking to you, and it's going to go out on multiple different platforms. The left has decided that any speech with which they disagree must be silenced. We see this on college campuses. We see this on Facebook censoring conservative commentary and video. We see it with Google altering searches. And now we're seeing it in the corporate America arena play out with activist investors such as Zevin and such as the other groups that came in and demanded that Iger leave the advisory board. It's a purity shop, because any speech that the left doesn't like, they're not interested in having a debate anymore on topics. They just want a silent speech with which they disagree.
Well, Justin, my understanding is that Mr. Iger said at the meeting that he had no plans of stepping down from Trump's Business Advisory Council. Did you hear that as well?
Yeah, that's correct. I think that, Mr. Iger and I have a lot of disagreements on numerous issues. That's safe to say. But I will say I commend him for the way that he handled the activists today, in large part by explaining that it's good to actually have discussions. It's good to be in the room. And that doesn't mean it's an endorsement of every Trump policy. And that it's good for corporate America to be involved in these discussions rather than on the outside. So for that, I will applaud Mr. Iger.
All right, Justin Danhoff of the National Center for Public Policy Research. Thank you so much for your time today, sir.